I have spent the last month working on this, and I went through a lot of pieces. I put in a lot of hours and worked on some tricky sections, but I have completed another 3,000 piece puzzle. Hi, I'm Sandra, the Puzzling Canadian, and welcome to my channel. Well, I have recently completed another large piece count. This will be my fifth that I've completed since I started this puzzling hobby back in 2020. And it's not a piece count that I usually do. I don't do large piece counts all the time, but I try to do one at least once a year. I usually do it during the summertime because that's when they have the Summer Puzzle Olympics. And if you haven't heard about this event, I'll attach the link down below to my video describing what this event is. And they have a category for large piece counts, and that's when I usually work on it. Now, when I'm talking about large piece counts, for me, it usually means 3,000 pieces. Last year I worked on my very first 4,000 piece puzzle, but that was the only one that I've done. So the largest amount that I've done has been 4,000 pieces. I'm not an experienced puzzler when it comes to large piece counts. I have not done those larger ones like 6,000 or 9,000 or 13,000. I haven't worked on those. However, I have recently acquired one of those larger piece count puzzles, and hopefully I'll have the opportunity to start working on it this year. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so, so you don't miss out on this video that will come out down the road. So each time I work on a 3,000 piece puzzle or a large piece count puzzle, I try to work on a different brand. So the very first one that I did was an Anatolian puzzle. And then the following year I worked on a Schmidt puzzle. Then I did a Ravensburger, and last year I did a truffle. So this year I wanted to work on a Bluebird puzzle, and the image that I selected was this one here. So I work on my puzzle on my dining room table because that's the only space that's large enough for it. So let's go inside and take a closer look at the puzzle I completed. So here it is, my 3,000 piece puzzle that I've recently completed. It is a Bluebird puzzle called Collage Vintage, and I purchased this one well over a year ago. I actually think I saw it on, someone completed it on the Summer Olympics, and I saw that image. I go, wow, that is really beautiful. I like the different colors that they have here, and I like the fact that it comes in like a grid, like there's separate sections, and I can work on whichever one I wanted to first. So the thing I like about Bluebird puzzles is that when you get the puzzle, the pieces are packaged in two separate bags. It's not the case for every brand. But I think that's a good option for puzzlers because they can decide how they want to tackle a large piece puzzle. Some people just don't have the space, so having it in two separate bags allows people to work on these large piece counts one small section at a time. In my case, I mixed the pieces together. I did that with all my other puzzles, previous puzzles that I worked on. So I wanted to compare times. I decided let's mix the pieces. Then what I did is I would spread the pieces on foam boards, allowing me to see all the pieces. Now, what I ended up doing is automatically starting to work on the colorful sections. So those were California, New Mexico, this one down here, Canada. And those were the easiest pieces to find right away because there's so much color and detail patterns. You have the VW wagon at the top, you have this motorcycle, you have the nice yellow car in the California, so it was easy to identify. And then I started to work on some other sections and started to realize there was a lot of repetition. Like you would have similar colors that was in one section, it's also in another section, and it was a little bit tricky to figure out. And then you would have repetition, like there's at least 3 Big Bens, and you're like trying to put it together, and you're like, which Big Ben in which section does it go? So that made it a little bit harder. But other than that, it was a good brand. I did enjoy this brand. I would do it again. And it was really pretty. So when I'm working on a large piece count puzzle, I am doing it at a casual pace. I am not speed puzzling. There's no way I'd want to speed puzzle a large piece count puzzle, but I do time myself because I'm very curious to see how long it would take to do a piece count this large. So for this puzzle, it took me 25 hours, 43 minutes, and 41 seconds to complete, which is not bad, which is pretty comparable to some of my other puzzles, like the Schmidt puzzle I did. It's almost exactly the same time. There were other puzzles that I did that were a little bit harder, like the Ravensburger animal stamps. So that took me much more than 25 hours. I think it took me over 30 hours. So I was really happy with the time with this. So now I know more or less it takes me somewhere about 25, perhaps 35 hours to complete a large piece count puzzle. It really depends on the image. Now I have noticed that my last 4 puzzles have all been grid-like puzzles. And I think I now need to move on to something that's one big image. I think I did these grid puzzles in the beginning just to get used to these large piece counts. And now I think I need to tackle something else. But I'm not sure. I'm just trying to find the right image that I really like. I noticed that there's a lot of jungle scenes with animals, and I personally do not want to do that because I do not want to work on fur. I did it with the animal stamps, and it was not fun. And then they have a lot of maps, and I don't really think I want to do a big map in 3,000 pieces. And, you know, they have solar systems, zodiac signs, so those aren't really appealing to me. I just got to find the right image. I wish they had like a big, gigantic beach scene. And actually, Bluebird does have a big beach scene, but it has a lot of palm trees, so that's kind of scaring me. So I think I just need to search other companies. So there's other brands that I haven't done that I hope to do eventually. You've got Casterland, Clementoni. I think there's Art Puzzle. I really like art puzzles, but that's very difficult to find here in Canada. Educa has some really nice images. I really do love their images. I'm a little concerned about their loose fitting, so especially for a large piece. So those are some brands that I would like to work on. And if you have any recommendations of which images or puzzle brands I should maybe tackle next, let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video and like seeing larger piece count puzzles, please tap that like button. Now the time has come for me to dismantle this puzzle after all this time. I think that's the saddest part when you're doing a large piece count puzzle. You put so much time and effort, but eventually you have to take it apart. And that's what I must do now because I have other puzzles that I'd like to work on. So I'm going to get to it. And until next time, happy puzzling.